Welcome everybody. We are talking today with a beautiful woman, Jessica Cure, and Jessica is a energy curator and a healing home creator. She's an interior designer, but it's really a lot more in-depth than just interior designing. She's really working with the energy of the space and the objects that you have, and being able to create a sacred space so that you can really feel at home and in tune and creative in that space. And so I'm really glad that you're here.
Thank you for having me.
And today we wanted to talk about how to create a sacred space that is healing and setting ourselves up for self-love and success in 2016.
I'd like to share a little bit about what a sacred space is for me, and I really consider that to be not just your home. It can be any space that you're in, whether it's in where you're working, in your car, an outdoor space. It's really all the time that you spend in your day where you want to have this really positive healing energy. And I say energy as in creating kind of this mood and this setting that really allows you to go in deeper to care for yourself so that you can go out and care for others as well and kind of spread that energy outside of your space. So in a sacred space, I really feel like it's anywhere that you feel at home. I know for myself, I really feel at home in nature, so sacred space could be me out, in a hike, or spending time outdoors, maybe camping. So it could be anywhere you want. And I feel like for 2016, really, for me, my journey started. I was really focused on interior design and not really realizing that I was creating this energy. Didn't really realize that's what I was doing. And as I went through healing and working on issues with illness with an autoimmune disease, I really got into understanding more about the energy of your space and the toxic products or furniture, but also just that toxic energy that all those things get off, because you're having chemicals under your counters and in your bathroom and on your mattress, and there's all these places that we're really absorbing all of these things. And when we spend so much time in these spaces, we want to be able to nurture ourselves as much as possible. And so for me, it's really some simple steps for 2016 just to get into it would be to really clear out all of the toxic items, which is something that I help with, but it could be anything that has chemicals or that you are feeling kind of disconnected with. And a great way to look at that is kind of hold the item and kind of feel how these things do make you feel, which seems a little bit too simple and odd, but you'll realize certain things you are either feeling attached to because of an energy, maybe a memory or whatnot, and we need to let go of things that are putting bad memories and situations into it as well. So it's not just toxic items as far as chemicals, but also energy-wise, where it's triggering memories or things that maybe are unpleasant for us. We need to let that go. We want to bring nature into our space, so lots of plants and flowers, rocks, sticks. Any of your adventures outdoors, you kind of bring these things, like you might feel like, oh, this rock is beautiful, and bring it home with you and put it next to your bed, and this crystal or anything that you're feeling from nature to really connect and ground yourself in.
My car's full of sticks from hikes in Topanga and rocks, and
you feel like they just start to come to you, and you want to really include them. So I feel like that's a huge step in grounding your space, is really bringing that nature in. I noticed for you have all the essential oils in your space, and I'm the same with that. I like to use real natural scents, and I think everyone loves candles and loves all these things, but they are usually made with chemicals or items that are fragrances that are coming from chemicals. So it's really important to choose even our scents. And I think that a great way to feel into your space with that energy is to create a space for yourself where you have a space that's just for you, whether it's just a pillow that you can sit down and you do your meditations on, and you can bring out your scent. And so I like to have an essential oil that I associate with that morning's practice or that evening's yoga. So I will continue to use that scent to remind myself of my intentions that I was set in that space. And I feel like scent is a really good way to make our memory, we join it with certain positive or negative things. So if you kind of start to create scents within your home or in your spaces, or that go along with that alignment of some intentions, or you're doing that, you're really going to feel connected with the scent. Same things go with sounds, like really choosing positive music. A lot of us don't even realize that we have certain things on the TV or on the radio, and these are all going into our minds, and maybe we're not really listening, but they're subconsciously being absorbed as an energy as well. So really creating that sacred space with your sounds as well. For people maybe who...
For all of the senses.
Yeah, all of your senses. So go through all of those senses and feel it out. And I think those are the really like core ways to get started, and there's a lot of things you can do from there. But when you're feeling like things are clean and releasing the toxins, releasing bad memories or scents or sounds and all those things, and replacing them with new ones that are giving you that positive reaction, you're going to start associating all the time that you spend in those spaces with positivity, and that's going to create a major shift. And so that would be my suggestions in getting started with it.
There's a lot of like cleansing stuff, like releasing and simplifying and just cleansing. And I've felt like that's something that's being continually asked of us, energetically, with our bodies, with our space. I know I really need to cleanse my car. It's been just like accumulating, a wardrobe of stuff as I drive around. So
I agree. I mean, for me, it's like, throw it in the back seat. Sometimes out of sight, out of mind, but it's still
in the
creating this. Yes. It's interesting because in LA we spend a lot of time in our car, so it's an important space to have that energy as well. I like putting certain things even on my iPod. I won't turn on the radio and listen to it all. So I really intentionally make my route, if I'm going to be driving for a while, more of a positive experience. And I think that is also time where you're able to clear your mind driving, for me. I don't know about for you. So
yeah, definitely. For me, it's a space that I get to clear my mind, but I realize that if there's a lot going on, that my mind is trying to process and figure things out, and so sometimes that's a good thing to allow it to just process and figure things out, and sometimes it's just kind of staying in a loop of the mind that is not really fun to be in. And so when I realize I'm just like in my head and it's not really fun, then I'll put on like healing music or a podcast or YouTube or something, so that I can just, or an audiobook, and I can just listen to it and enjoy the journey and allow my mind to be empty and be absorbing something that's beneficial for me.
Yeah, that's great. I think kind of realizing when you're getting into that loop or that negative space and kind of saying, well, how can I shift this? Like, what do I need to release and bring in? And so I feel like even in these spaces, it's always interchanging. Even colors, like what colors are making you feel a certain way, and sometimes it's just a fresh coat of paint and a new you know, pillow or whatever it might be, it might really create this shift for yourself. And yeah, it's really important. And I didn't realize how important it was really until I really dug deep into living with an autoimmune disease, realizing that I really had to get rid of a lot of the toxicity. And we can do this, and we think, oh, we could put a filter on the shower and have water absorbing in your skin. And, oh, we can have clean air, keep the window cracked, have more plants that are giving more oxygen. There are all these things, but deep down there's also energetics in relationships, and it's also who you're living with, who you're spending your time with. And sometimes you can feel really heavy in a space and you feel like you're doing all the right things to be healthy, and there's still that element. So sometimes if we can't fully create that for ourselves, we need to look at the situation differently and maybe see that this is something that is telling us that we need to be doing something else or be in a different place. And I think that's the hardest thing that I had to learn, is that I had to really let go of those attachments to, this is my home, this, I've had this couch, or this cost me this amount of money, or whatever that thing that's holding on to, and be aware of those feelings.
Right.
Which we've talked a lot about, the feelings part. Yeah. I think that's what's really been beneficial for me with the autoimmune. But the second thing is really creating a space for me to really work on my self-care practice. And that is become major bathtub time, lots of salts and essential oils, and creating homemade masks and all these fun things that we say, oh, these are a luxury. Well, if we don't take care of ourselves first, how are we supposed to really go out and take care of others or provide a positive energy if we don't take care of ourselves? And I think that, my autoimmune disease pushed me to slow down and really reflect and realize that I'm taking care of everybody else and my tank is empty and it's affecting my body. And so within your home, like, my favorite thing is bath time. I mean, I say, hello, I'm a bathaholic. But then, your bed, your bed needs to be sacred space. It's, to unplug and take out the computer and put it away.
The phone away.
Not having a television even in the bedroom. And all of these things, I feel like it creates this center for healing because you need your rest. And so every element all intertwines into really keeping you healthy. So even if you're not big into energy work, you do want to be healthy, and all these things really have been a huge part in my healing. I've been able to reduce or get rid of almost every medication and really work naturally with natural product and stress reduction, and knowing that when I go home or every space I have is going to feel calm is really important. And I think we don't even realize sometimes that we're not calm. We're rushing. Our heart is beating, and we slow down and think about it, and we don't want to do that, so we keep rushing.
Right.
And
until our body gives us a reason
to stop.
Stop and take care of ourselves.
So self-care is major importance when it comes. So really what I'm doing is trying to facilitate more self-care, more self-love.
And you mentioned earlier when we were speaking that if you travel, you have like an essentials self-care sacred space kit.
Yes.
Can you share what's in your essential pack?
So it always is changing. We were talking about this because I always say to my friends, oh, it's the essentials, because they think I'm spraying essential oils on the airplane and people think I'm nuts, and then they love it and they want to know where I got those because
it smells so good.
Created this great thing.
Yeah, and it feels good.
I usually have some sort of essential oils depending how I'm feeling. Lately I've been getting into like vetiver, which I never really knew about, and
it's a brand.
It's an actual vetiver is an actual
it's a
herb.
Oh, okay.
So it's an essential oil.
Ooh.
And it's very grounding. It's good for the nervous system. So, I mean, I like to put it in the bath before bed, but it's a great when traveling because you're trying to feel more grounded and calm your nerves when flying. Lavender is always great, but this one's very earthy, and I've just been kind of exploring. So it's interchangeable. It's whatever you're really feeling. And again, if you're paying attention to the scents that we talked about in your spaces, you're going to want to bring scents with you that are triggering positive energy. I'll usually have some sort of healthy snacks with me that I'll make, and I'm sharing with them. I'm sharing with the neighbor and the airplane. Like, would you like some of my treats that I made? And I think that's the point where you can strike up a conversation even with these things. So it's good for you, but now you're sharing. And so that's kind of my kit. It's always interchanging, but it's always something that is good for me, but I'm sharing with others.
That's beautiful.
And now it's the essentials.
I love it. Is there anything else that you would recommend for like creating a sacred space for self-care, self-love, but also for like for the year, for creating intentions and moving forward successfully?
So for me, I've created a daily practice space, and this is something that I really encourage each person to do, and usually they'll find somewhere in the house, outside of the house, that they can have space. For instance, my friend had her husband make a little bench to go in front of a window in their bedroom. That's her meditation bench that she sits at every morning looking out. Has a little pillow on there, and it's not a big room or anything, but it's her little sacred space that's just for her and her morning, whether she wants to spend 10 minutes or an hour. And I think that if you don't have a space just for you in that sense, to maybe figure out clearing one for yourself, put something together, items that are gonna give you positive feelings. So I think that's important, but I feel like definitely right away go through and clear out anything that is creating chemicals or toxicity in the home, as well as any negative energy. Before even bringing anything in, just getting rid of a lot of that and clearing your space, you're going to feel a huge uplift you're going to sleep better. There's going to be a lot of elements of shifting, and let it take a little bit of time, but you'll feel into it, and you may even realize that some stuff that you weren't wanting to let go of, you'll be ready to as you clear. So I think that's really a good start for the year, and it will take time.
Right. But yeah, having a space that's just your own, that you can go to anytime at any moment where you need to just.
I even suggest, like, some people don't have that space. That's why I talk about the bathtub, but I know when I had roommates or I lived with someone, I would love to just kind of lock myself up in the bathroom because no one will bother you in the bathroom as much. And I have talked to a lot of mothers with children. I never get any time for myself. So even maybe asking your partner, I need to have this amount of time. Will you, watch the children so I can take a 30-minute bath, and really kind of create this sanctuary inside your bathroom and lock yourself in like you're in the spa, and really allow yourself to enjoy all the benefits of that. I think it's important, and it's hard because we don't want to ask of other people to give us that time, or it's expensive to have someone babysitting. But I think if you can just schedule it and at least allow yourself once a week or twice a month to get that time for yourself, I feel like that's a real important goal to set, and make sure that you're implementing it and not allowing it just to go to the wayside, because you are very important.
Now I have some questions for you.
All right.
So what is, we've talked about this, but for you, if you don't have the luxury of time to really, take your bath and all of that, What's your one kind of self-care ritual that you must do every day?
Every day. I really think I go into the essential oils because I can keep them, I'll take them anywhere. So if I'm not home, in my actual home, I have that, and I'll usually do something on my nose, something that's going to enhance the breathing, create some energy. I definitely like to have my bed space at night, so I always have like a little bit of a preparation in my bed. So every night, I have a little essential oil, I have a little eye mask because that helps me sleep better. And so I think just the ritual around rest is very important. So that's, if I can't get any of my morning practice in or any of these other things during the day, my bedtime practice, like right before bedtime, I have to do these things to feel really comfortable and sleep properly.
That's awesome. I think everyone should do that.
Yes.
Bedtime practice. What would you, knowing everything you know now and everything you've gone through, what would you say to your younger self?
I would definitely say that I need to trust myself more. The grass isn't greener or better. That really your path is being kind of presented to you, and just if you're listening, that you're going to be, every time I've listened really to my intuition, things have fallen into place. And when I've ran the opposite way from it, a lot of struggle has come up. So I feel like really trusting is a huge thing to look back on. But I feel like if I didn't do everything the way I did, I wouldn't be in this space either. So there's not really a regret there, but just definitely trust more.
Yeah. That's awesome. For me, I feel like, our inner child is always there. It's our inner child, but that small part of us, and sometimes that part of us that's, afraid and needs to be taken care of by someone bigger and more responsible. So to be able to say to that part of yourself, like, trust yourself.
Yes.
Everything's going to be okay.
And I think it's not even just like we feel that way, but then a lot of outside expectations that we're trying to, be something for somebody else and not really trusting it. Well, this is what my purpose is.
Right.
And I think that to tune into that at a young age, I'm seeing so much more of it around. Like, I'm finding women and men that are so much younger than me that are already there.
Right.
And so I think that shift is there, and it's good that the more that we share, that it's going to become more how our world is functioning, and that's my hope.
Yeah, awesome. Me too. So what do you want to be known for? What impact would you like to leave this world with?
I was really thinking about this last night. I was watching this little documentary on reuse, and it kind of stuck. All these things came up for me, and even how I could be doing it better and consuming less, and really considering that I left the world in a better place for the future. And so with the reuse, it was just really awesome, because coming in with the interior design, like, how can I really be known to create that without causing more consumerism and more stuff?
Right.
And I feel like that really connected for me even more last night watching that, and then with your question.
Awesome.
So I think that would be huge, and just really sharing with each other along with the autoimmune diseases. I'm realizing so many people are struggling, and they're still feeling the push of take this medicine, do this surgery. And I want to be able to touch those people and say, here's another way. And I might not be perfect, and I'm still going to go through all the struggles or the pain, but I'm choosing a different way. And I want other people to be able to see that they can too. And I feel like for so long we've trusted that, doctors are smart, but they're always right, or, we have to do things a certain way, and we're forced to be living in fear all the time. And you don't have to live that way. You know, we talked a little earlier, negative things may happen. You know, bad things happen, but we think they're bad at the time, but maybe they're not so bad. Maybe it's just a shift in where we needed to learn. And so I would like to really leave that behind so that people can, like I said, trust themselves and go with their own way of what they feel is good for themselves versus being forced into a certain healing path, like method.
Right. That's not really even healing.
No. Distracting.
Right. And what are you really excited about right now?
So I guess I'm excited because I finally really have been connecting all the dots of my creativity mixed with healing and mixed with mentoring with people with chronic illness. And so I put together my blog, which is Cure Designed, and really feeling into that. I mean, it's developing and changing and be offering more services and workshops. But as this is evolving, I realize I'm just connecting with this huge group of mostly women at this point, which is amazing, but people that are really supportive of each other. And so it's really exciting that we're doing this interview this way and really getting to share. And so that's what I'm excited about. I've just been like beaming the past week about all these connections, so I love it.
Yay! I'm excited about that too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jessica.
Thank
Everything
you.
that you shared was just really beautiful and authentic and helpful.
You're welcome.
There are definitely some clearing and things that I want to do in my space.
Awesome. Well, when we check back with you in a month, you'll have to let me know what
I
you
will.
did and see how it's affecting you.
Yeah, so I hope it helped you guys. I know I got a lot out of it, and they can find you for
So you
energy
can find
curation.
me on Instagram and I think actually Facebook as well, and Twitter is all Pure Design Style. And you can check out my website, which will be changing a bit over the next months, but it is curedesigns.com, which is my last name, C-U-R-E. That's me, Jessica Cure.
Awesome. Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you. That's a wrap.